You really thought we would get this far without talking about Gorilla Tag? Nah, dude. This was my first VR game that I played on the Oculus Quest 1. To start, the physics are somewhat hard to grasp, but once you do understand them, you will rapidly increase in skill. Speaking of skill, that is all that this game is about. There is no official ranking system, there are no official tournaments, but for some reason, every single player has to be better than the others. You cannot go 20 minutes of playing the game without hearing some gorilla talk about how, "Oh dude, I'm top 2,000 in branching." These are made-up numbers. If you play a tournament or competition in Gorilla Tag and you get told by the host that you are top whatever percentage of another player, they are making that shit up. They are also just another player. Even if they are better than you, they are not some official endorsed host of Gorilla Tag competitions. They cannot possibly know how to rank you if a ranking system does not exist in the first place. Now, it is true that there's a competitive game mode, but all this does is matchmake you with other people who also have it toggled on. There is no scoring system. There is no rank. It is all made up malarkey so that someone can say they are better than you. And this doesn't mean, oh, everyone's on the same skill level, because that's bullshit. There will be people better than you, and there will be people worse than you. There's just no way to prove that aside from action. The only real way to prove skill is to 1v1 or show someone in some way that you can and will outlast them. As long as you don't get paired up with just children who spout up made-up numbers, this game is an amazing experience, which for a while was my only game since I was a broke boy with no money. Did I mention this game is free? They have consistent updates for holidays, new maps, new game modes, and the fans are very dedicated, so they usually accept any update with open arms. The only real downside is nothing stopping a cracked, skilled gamer nerd from joining a newbie lobby and totally dominating, causing an unfair experience.
I just gave you the ultimate boost, buddy.
There's only been a few controversial changes, and most have been resolved with recent updates. They took away OG Caves map, they brought back OG Caves map. There are seasonal changes to each map, mainly for winter, fall, and summer. They constantly add new mechanics, such as the ropes and gliders and shrinking areas of some maps, which can be argued to increase or decrease the value of map design. I'm a fan of the Clouds map, with the gliders and wind tunnels, but I also think that Canyons, my favorite map, has been ruined.
Helicopter, helicopter.
The ropes and zip lines make it far too easy for someone to camp them, and just have enough speed to be almost uncatchable. Some would call this a skill issue, but I think that if I have to increase my skill as a player to catch someone who is worse than I am, this is a flaw in the overabundance of tech in the map layout. I don't mind having one rope or a single small zip line, maybe one or two. This would add character, and it's hard to just abuse that one, especially if it doesn't go around the whole map or just covers a small area. But when you add near 5 ropes and the whole map is just accessible with zip lines alone, the main gameplay just consists of catching the few actually good players and then the many rope campers or zipline hogs. Sort of like how in the mountains map, there's always that one kid who thinks he's skilled because he loops down the ice ramp to the vent over and over all game. Mountains was also a victim of being overloaded with new mechanics, causing half the map to change. Although it wasn't as severe as Canyons, it definitely hit hard for all the routes that everyone knew and loved to just get roadblocked by new obstacles that just make the map feel crammed. At the very least, I would hope that we someday get the caves/mines treatment and get 2 separate maps based on the new versions and relocated versions of the old ones. That way, the children who rope launch can have fun, and the Giga Chad players who maxed out movement back in the day can still have room to run free. Speaking of the mini players, the cosmetic system is fairly well designed and make for unique story rotations and outfit combos. Here's what I currently rock, and have rocked for a while. Insert picture of what I currently rock and have rocked for a while. The Shiny Rocks currency system is not too bad. You get 100 free rocks every day you log in, or you could use Mommy's credit card and get as many as you want until she finds out and beats you severely. What you should take away from this review is that Gorilla Tag ranking doesn't exist, Old Canyons was peak map design, and Mommy's credit card is forbidden.
Villager news.
Coming up next on the Crown O'Clock News. Rec Room. Rec Room was one of those games you'd hear people talk about in other games, mainly Children, which you steered away from until one day your buddy got you to try it, and you never uninstalled it. It's basically a Roblox clone, but with better devs and decently frequent events. It's playable in VR, on desktop, or on a console. Pretty sure they got a mobile port now, not sure, I'm not a weirdo. It's got a cool map building system with the Maker Pen, which while it does take a while to grasp, once you figure it out, you can basically create anything. I'm not some Rec Room messiah or anything, but I've made a decent couple of inventions, and I renovated my dorm room until it sort of looked like a small apartment. The community-made game modes, and even some of the official ones, are pretty fun, even if the official modes have aged a bit. I think my overall favorite part of Rec Room is the skin customization, if you forget that full body exists. The only thing that you should remember about this game is that golden trophies peak, and if you use full body avatars, I probably wouldn't let you date my daughter. Moving along to the GOAT of VR games that was ripped from our hands by the devs because they wanted to make a worse game instead, I present to you what was Echo VR. This game was basically soccer, but not at all soccer, and you used a disc in a zero-gravity environment, with plenty of obstacles and other players to avoid. It's a 4v4 team game where you try to put the disc into each other's floating goal, while using any tactics necessary to do so. And I mean any. What's that? The enemy has the disc? Take it from their hands. That's how sports work. They get a little too close to you? Homicide. Yes, you can beat the fuck out of the enemy team. You can also block at the right time to counter if anyone tries to punch you instead. You pair this with boosting off your teammates for high speeds, and you basically turn into a bullet. There's many tactics and tons of tech, and you can pair just about any of them together for some crazy plays. There's not much else to say about this game other than the social system was okay, and the customization for your Robo chassis was alright. So yeah, rest in peace Echo. Gone too soon.
Are you sure?